as this song starts.
What we do here is go back.
Alrighty, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Oldy Gaming Podcast re-opening. It's going to be better than the return of MJ. As you can see in the title, I promised it's going to be better than the return of MJ, I promise. Maybe. It should be. It'll be great. As always, with me, if you're watching on Twitch right now, which I see there are some people that are watching on Twitch, we are missing Crisco's beautiful face, but I can assure you that he will be here next week. Well, he's here. I haven't announced him yet, but he's here. But you just can't see his face yet. Next week we will have that figured out. This announcement video, we weren't exactly going to do this. It was just kind of like, hey, should we say that we're coming out next week, or we're coming back next week? We're not coming out. We're coming back next week. On the podcast, because we've been gone a while. How long has it even been? I don't even remember. When did we stop?
I want to say maybe like right around Christmas time, like beginning of December maybe.
Yep. Yeah, that's about when we stopped. So we stopped around December. It's been a couple months. But here, before I have him start talking, I'm going to announce him like usual. It is Cano Crisco, aka Zach, aka my cousin, our awesome co-host forever and always. Here he is.
How you guys doing? How's it been?
So, why don't you take a second to explain why we've been gone for so long?
Yeah, so anyone who's, I guess, been with the stream for a while or has watched any of the old videos, our goal has always been to do this as a bit of a tandem, and I actually relocated across the country for work. So I live in California now as opposed to the beautiful state of Ohio, and with that comes time change, but also just readjusting and kind of getting settled in general. So we kind of agreed to take a little bit of a break so that I could get situated out here, but as well Braden's kind of been upgrading his setup, and we've been rethinking some tactics as far as how we want to approach it, and kind of felt like this was the right time to come back. I feel pretty well accustomed to my new environment, and he's got everything that he needs to really go full steam into this now.
Yep, because when I've been gone, I upgraded to a PC, so I'm playing a lot more PC. I'm streaming games on PC like Rainbow Six Siege, Star Wars The Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, What else have I done? Overwatch, Age of Empires 2, all that good stuff. League of Legends. Oh my god. My Xbox controller turned off again. Hello. There we go. My Xbox controller turned off for whatever reason again. Yeah, so I'm still playing on the Xbox. We're still doing some games on there, such as Tom Clancy's and Rocket League. You know, there's just you can't just leave your Xbox when you love your Xbox as much as I do. And certainly when you rage at games like Siege, you have to have something to fall back on, and the Xbox is always something good. But for the future now, we are going to be getting away from Stitcher and iTunes, and we're going to be focusing on YouTube and Twitch. And with that, we are going to be we're going to be putting the Legendary Breakdown and the For Nostalgia's sake in the storage unit, to say. We're going to be putting that away for a little while until we get some more steam and get some more viewers, because that's really, to me, it needs to be, I don't want people having to go back and watching old episodes. I want this to be more of something that there are plenty of people watching week to week and following along with what we're doing. So we're going to put those in there. And the reason why we're getting off of Stitcher and YouTube is because also we're wanting more viewers. And I think from this test trial, we're going to call this everything before this episode. We're restarting episode 1. This is episode 1, episode 0.5 kind of ish. But anyways, we're calling all that a test before this. And basically what I learned from that testing period was when I was putting out videos, that are 20 minutes long, also putting out like an hour-long podcast and trying to stream on Twitch, I was getting a way of gaming, and gaming is really what I love the most out of all of those things, out of, editing videos and posting videos. The gaming part was always the most fun part, and then getting to, the 3-hour, 4-hour long sessions of editing, and then 2 hours of rendering, and then another 3 hours of uploading. It was just taking a lot out of the gaming experience, and that's not what I wanted to lose. That's the one thing I wanted to keep the most of. So we kind of rethought this, and I came up with a couple of ideas that are going to make this a little quicker. Getting rid of iTunes and Stitcher were definitely one of those two, the one big thing, and also kind of switching the format of how we videotape everything. So we're going to be doing everything on Twitch, and then I'm just going to cut the beginning and cut the end and export it over to YouTube. And that makes it so much easier. Then I don't have to lose time uploading. I don't have to lose time rendering, and nothing like that. So everything's going to be done through Twitch and then exported to where it needs to go, mainly YouTube. Yeah. What's next?
Just kind of talking about, I guess, and one thing we wanted to make sure was clear is,
right,
the Legendary Breakdown and things like that. It's definitely stuff we're going to get back to, because to us, that's kind of, I guess, is exactly what we set out to do from the beginning. We had a conversation when we first started doing this where we weren't necessarily aiming to be like an IGN or like a GameSpot or something like that, where they're really going in depth to like the game, the really in depth game mechanics and what to them is game breaking and kind of little things that I guess your average and like casual gamer doesn't necessarily focus on, but for them, since they are looking at it through that really, I guess, microscopic and critiquing lens, it makes sense to see that in a review. And I fully expect if I watch one of their reviews, like I want to know that stuff. But for us, it's always been, what is it more from the casual gamer's perspective? What is the game to someone who just hops on after work or in their free time to play games and kill time for a few hours? Is the game fun to play for a few hours? Does it hold your attention? Is it something that makes you want to come back and play again? And that's kind of been our goal. So we're going to get back to that stuff because that's always been the focus with those videos. But until we really get, a good following, like you said, and really get everything ironed out, it's just something that we feel like it just detracts from, what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and we want to have like feedback from viewers and stuff like that. So yeah, we're just going to hold off on that stuff. It'll come back eventually. Speaking of reviews, I don't want to just be posting podcast videos and, like stream. The last couple videos I've posted have been like, clutching and siege or different things like that. I don't want to just be posting those videos. So we're also going to add, I'm going to add, I think this is going to be more of like a personal thing where I can just kind of put it together quickly, talk about a half an hour over a new game or a new patch, and I'm gonna call it like initial thoughts. And this idea came up because Wildlands just released, and I had a lot of things that I just wanted to talk about for Wildlands. So, for example, if you notice how they're marketing on Facebook, I know we talked about this before. Basically what they're doing is they're showing what the game is 100% reliant on. They're just having, this famous Twitch guy or whoever he is. I have no idea who he is, but whoever he is, he's playing with his friends, and they're just having a good time. And that's basically what that game is about. Is do you have a good set of friends that not necessarily don't take the game seriously, but like have that, serious and we're having fun balance. And so, yeah, that's one of those things that I would talk about. Or, I play Siege a lot if you watch the stream, and, they release patches every once in a while. They release new maps and new characters every once in a while. And that would be, an initial thought on how the game has turned in that patch, or from that patch, or from these new characters, or what happens in this new map, or whatever. So that's going to be that stream, that video series, and it's just kind of to add a little bit more than just podcasts and stream recaps. I guess it would be, those videos would be called stream highlights, maybe. But again, staying away from micro critiquing games like IGN and stuff like that. It'll just be my first impressions, because usually on IGN they either get to play the game before it comes out, or the game comes out and then they play through the whole thing. But when I play a game, I'm not going to get, right now at least, I'm not going to get to play before it comes out. And it just takes me too long with a full-time job to beat games. So it's just going to be like my first impressions instead of a full game review. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for what we're going to be talking about this week. Definitely look for... Oh, and I guess the podcast that... If you haven't been here, that leaves news. We will be reporting on the news in the podcast. That will be the only thing that the podcast videos are consuming, not consuming, what's the word I'm looking for? The content of the podcast videos are only going to be recent news that's coming out, because I really like talking about what's coming out and getting hyped for games like Andromeda and stuff like that. But you can definitely check us out on Twitch. I stream pretty much every day. I don't always play with Crisco, but I try to make it so I play with Crisco, multiple days during the week. There's other guys that I play with, Return of Batman and all them, Rated RAR, all those people on PC and everything like that. And then definitely at least one video a week on YouTube that's consisting of the podcast and sometimes other things.
Yeah, we've got a big I guess re-beginning in store here, and
Right.
we're gonna keep up to date on it now, and as we kind of get comfortable with what we're doing and we get more efficient doing just the little things right now, we'll slowly build up and get back to where we were. I feel like we were just a bit too ambitious the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've definitely kind of learned from it and taken notes, if you would, I guess, look at it that way. We're definitely excited to get back and get back to talking about games and continuing to play games.
Exactly. Well, I would definitely say that we bit off more than we could chew with the podcast, news, legendary breakdown, and for nostalgia's sake. That was a little bit too much.
Yeah, we started off with like one, and then very quickly we were just brainstorming like all day with each other, and we kept coming up with these good ideas, and we're like, oh, we should definitely implement them, and then we would, and the next thing you knew, we were doing an hour video during the week, and then it was an hour and a half on the weekends for a completely separate video or bits and pieces of videos, and I think we kind of just got very overwhelmed. But I mean, we did it for a long enough time to figure out whether or not it was going to work, and so we'll return to our former glory, but hopefully as a well-oiled machine.
Yep. And it was definitely fun, but the gaming part was fun. The endless hours of editing was not as much fun. But I'm looking forward to that day when we can make this. We're gonna announce the reopening of for nostalgia's sake, or the legendary breakdown, because it'll happen one day. As for
Coming
that,
soon to a theater near you.
yeah, I wouldn't say soon. Coming eventually to a theater near you. All right, that's all we got for today. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You gonna do it?
Crisco out.
Yeah.
What we do here is go back.